Hello, welcome to day number 3. Congratulations for making it through day number 2. You should be feeling really cleansed, and I know if your symptoms started to get really intense that you needed to do something else, to take a break, please don't consider that a failure. But if you kept going, congratulations as well. And now we're moving on to day number 3. So day number 1 really focused on resetting our metabolism, resetting our metabolic system and autophagy and cleaning out everything when we're fasting. Day number 2 is also a fast, but we're introducing some minerals and vitamins. So we have our bone broth and our juices. Now day number 3 is also still a cleanse, but we're starting to build. So here's where we're starting to build a little bit, build things that will nourish our body. So we're going to be doing our Vitamix smoothies and our Vitamix soups. And if you have a different kind of blender, same thing. So they're blended. We're still not eating solid food. Today's our last day to not eat solid food, but you will feel more satisfied today. So you will feel better with these smoothies and soups. So without further ado, let's just get going and make them. Okay, so let me see if I can set this up. There we go. Okay, so I have in front of me here a whole bunch of things that you may or may not have or want to make a smoothie. So there's tons of smoothie recipes online, and there's tons of soup recipes online. So you can get creative with this every week. But the main important thing that we're doing is that we want to make a large green. I wrote down my recipe that I do. But we want to make sure that we have one large green smoothie so that we're getting our greens, because we do want to have about 6 cups of greens every day no matter what. So that's important. And then we're going to have like a red one or a colored one. So that will be our second one. So a big green one, a smaller colored one, and then we're going to have our soup tonight. Okay, so right now, I am going to get started with a smoothie. So just to give you an example, so the first thing that I would do is I'm going to go for my greens. So I have a variety here, and you can throw in whatever you have, and variety is important because that's where you're getting all your vitamins and minerals. So I'm going to put in probably about 4 cups of greens, but I'm going to do a handful of spinach, which is really good. I'm gonna put in some kale. This kale's not too thick. Take off the bottom parts of the stems because they're really hard. Rinse it in water and throw in, you can see some kale here. It might be too far away, so I'll just bring it over here. Kale. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of Swiss chard, a couple of leaves of Swiss chard too. So I'm going to wash my Swiss chard, put it in. So I've got some spinach, I've got some kale, I've got some Swiss chard. It may not be enough. I might want to go get a little bit more. I have some baby kale here, so I'll throw in some baby kale. Although I do like to save this for my salads because it's easier to use in your salads. Okay, so there we go. And I'm gonna throw in a little bit of romaine. So, of course, all of this has to be organic. It's so important that whatever you eat and whatever your grocery store has or doesn't have, that you go to the organic section of your produce aisle, even if it's a limited, and you get what they have that's organic. So I'm gonna do about a half romaine and just throw it in. Okay, so when we pack it down, it looks like this. So we're all full of greens here. Okay, so now we want to put in some fat and also some protein. So do you remember the milk yesterday that we had that makes our green milk? This is just strained almond milk with a little bit of pumpkin and flax. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the strained nut milk there, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of extra flax to give me some plant-based omegas today. So throw in a little bit of flax there, and so that's that. Now I want to go ahead and add some flavor because this will taste not very good. So first of all, I'm going to put in my fat. So I will take a half of an avocado, which makes it creamy. You want something to make it creamy. A lot of people go to bananas or mangoes, which really make a smoothie creamy. And if you're just using a half of a banana or a couple chunks of mango, that's fine. Don't get caught up about it, but we are trying to limit our sugar in this one. So I'm going to use avocado instead. I'm going to have a little bit of apple. I've got 2 pieces left over from yesterday. I'm going to put lemon. So I'm going to take this lemon and just be careful you don't get the seeds in. I'm going to squeeze it right over top. There we go. And then I'm going to squeeze the other side. And that'll go right in there. So that's good. And if you want a little bit more flavor, but not too high in sugar, I'm going to squeeze a little bit of pink grapefruit, or take a little bit of pink grapefruit out and put it in there. Okay, it's not much. I'm just doing about 1/4 of a pink grapefruit. So really, it's not a lot. So you can see this is just a little piece I'm going to put in for flavor. Okay, so we have our, the flavor in there now with the lemon and the apple and a little bit of grapefruit, and now I'm going to put in some mint. So you can put in mint, or if you want to go a little sweeter, you could put in like a little bit of vanilla. So I'm going to go ahead and do a mint today, and I'm also going to put in an herb. You always put in an herb for like a chelating effect. This is parsley. So I'm going to go ahead and put in parsley, but you could put cilantro in too. So now the Vitamix is getting super full. I don't want to pack it too much more in here. So I just want to think about this. I have my, my flavor. I've got all my greens. I could put a little bit of ginger in here, which would give it another kick. And I'm going to fill it up now with some coconut water and grab some ginger. So I'm going to do a little bit of coconut water, just a little bit, not much. This is an organic, pure organic coconut water, not from concentrate. And I'm going to throw in a little thumb of ginger, and then I'm going to fill the rest with spring water. So hang on. Sorry about all the dead air time there. I'm just filling this with my Berkey filtered spring water, and it's taking a while here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up maybe halfway. I don't want to overdo it. There. About halfway, yeah. Okay, so that is what we have here. I'm gonna put the lid on, and I'm gonna blend it, and then we're gonna taste it to see what it's like before we start drinking it. You can also add a few ice cubes, which is really great if you don't have anything frozen in there. So blending it up. I usually give it about 2 minutes. Maybe not even, just a minute. We don't want to overdo our smoothies, but we just want to make sure everything's blended. So now I'm going to just take it and pour into a mason jar here, and we'll see how much we have. We're going to fill up 1 mason jar full of this delicious green smoothie, and give the rest to your kids or husband. And if your kids won't drink it, go ahead and add a whole banana or some chunks of pineapple or mango, and that will sweeten it up. But I think it's delicious just the way it is. You could add cinnamon for flavor. Like I said, vanilla, cinnamon, try to stay away from it. I mean, if you have to add a little piece of a banana, that's not the end of the world, but this is what we're going for, a healthy green smoothie. So that's number one. So I'm just gonna pour the rest in here so that I have it tomorrow or later today, or give it to my husband or kids. So I'll just move that out of the way. So here we go with this one. And then that should be pretty filling, but we want to make a small smoothie now because we didn't get all the nutrients that we wanted to get. So we're going to make a small smoothie. So I don't even need to rinse this out because it's amazing stuff that's in there. So I'm going to make a berry smoothie and beet, just to make sure that we're getting our nitric oxide and some of our other flavors. So I want to go ahead, I have beets in a bag here, frozen beets that came from my garden. So I'm going to put in probably about 2 beets. And I'm going to put in, you can choose any berries. You can use raspberries, strawberries, blueberries. Any berries are good. Blueberries are amazing for the brain. I'm going to use raspberries today to give it that red, vibrant color. So about 1/2 cup. That's what it looks like, 1/2 cup. Okay, so now we've got that. Now, because this is going to be fairly high in sugar, even though they're not super high on the index, and they're amazing for you. Really good to have that red, vibrant color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some fat in here. So I could use the other half of my avocado, but I don't want to double up. So I'm going to use coconut milk. So I happen to have one open. So I'm going to go ahead and pour, it was in the fridge, so it's a little bit hard. I'm going to pour some of the water and get some of the fat, which has solidified. So I want that in there. There we go. So that will give it a nice creamy consistency. I'm going to do a little bit, always put greens in it, even though you want the red color. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more kale today, just because I seem to have a lot of kale on hand. So 2 leaves of kale, just to help it out with getting the green in there. And I'm going to put, you can put some powders in here. So today I'm going to put some vitamin C powder. This is 100% organic acerola cherry powder, so it's pure vitamin C, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon in, which will be delicious. I am going to put some collagen in, some upgraded grass-fed collagen to help our bones and skin in this recipe as well. So if you have your favorite super powders, you can definitely get them in today. I think that's all I'm going to put in today. You could put in like a protein powder, like a vanilla protein powder. I usually use like a bone broth protein. This one's greens, but if I'm out of vanilla, but if you had the vanilla, you could put it in or whatever. But I might add just a smidge. But I have tons of greens already, and I'm already drinking the bone broth, so I don't need a lot, just a little. And so that's it. So we have pretty much everything in here that we need. So we could add a tiny little bit of lemon to give it a bit of flavor, a little bit more flavor, or vanilla. So I might use vanilla today. So I have vanilla bean. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put like a thumb-sized piece of vanilla bean. Or if you have like a vanilla extract that's, I also have one, I'll show you. It is organic vanilla extract, non-alcoholic, so it's a little bit better. So you can put a little bit of that in. Oh, my dog's barking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up with water again. Hang on. There's another dog outside the neighborhood, so she's never happy. So just a little bit of the water. And that one wasn't filtered, but that's just because my Berkey is going so slow. like a smaller glass. You don't want to have as much of the red in the sugar. So I would fill a smaller mason jar. And again, give the rest to your kids or your husband. Or put it in a mason jar for later. So there we go. Okay. Hang on, let me get my dog. Okay, so there we have the red smoothie and the green smoothie. See my cute little loud dog. So there we have the two size smoothies that you're gonna drink today, or whatever combination. Just make sure that you're getting the nutrients. It's really important. And then for the soup, you can make any kind of soup. We're gonna use probably 2 cups of bone broth. So I have my bone broth from yesterday. Sit, Molly, sit. So I have my bone broth from yesterday in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use 2 cups of that. And then I'm gonna steam whatever kind of vegetables I want. So if I'm making butternut squash soup, I'll use butternut squash. I'll cook it in my Instant Pot. And then when I'm done, I'll blend the 2 together in the Vitamix. And I will throw in herbs and sea salt. So sage, rosemary, wonderful savory herbs that you wanna do. Today, I won't make the recipe because this video is taking too long, but I will show you what I am going to do. Today, instead of butternut squash or broccoli or cauliflower, you can make any of those creamed soups, which are delicious. Quiet, honey, quiet. I know they're out there. Okay, so what we want to do, first of all, let me just see, is I'm going to make mushroom soup. So I'm going to take shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to take crimini, sliced and washed mushrooms, and I'm going to put some onion and leek in it. And I'm going to cook those up beforehand. So whatever vegetables you're doing, whether it's cauliflower, broccoli, butternut squash, mushroom, onion, whatever it is you want to cook it, so you can saute those. I am going to saute the mushrooms and onions together in a pan. And then you need to add a cream if you want your soup to be creamy. So you can add, I could add the extra half of this avocado that I have here. I could add coconut milk or coconut cream, which I happen to have here, which I probably will add coconut milk to this soup, a little bit of coconut cream. Or the other thing that you can do to add is a little bit of cauliflower. Also makes things creamy. So I might steam a little bit of cauliflower as well. So my recipe will be a large thing of mushrooms, probably about a cup of cauliflower. You can see it. Maybe a half of a leek, a whole onion diced up, and some coconut milk or coconut cream, and then I'm going to put in some sea salt and pepper and herbs. So for the herbs, I will probably use sage, thyme, rosemary, really fresh savory herbs that will make it delicious. Once those are hot and the bone broth is hot, you just pop it in your Vitamix, you blend it up, and now you have a savory soup, which is your blender soup that you're going to have for dinner tonight. So and they're delicious, and you can get so creative, and there's so many recipes online. There's so many, so you don't have to, you don't have to worry about so I'll just hold it. It's just not gonna work. So you don't have to worry about like anything else. All you have to do is worry about, just making it. So it takes a little bit of preparation, but not that much. You make this soup for your whole family, and you've had smoothies for your whole family, and then you'll have some left over, which is great because you can use those soups as the base for tomorrow, because we're going to be making like stews and things and one-pot meals, so we're going to want those soups left over to use as a base for that. So it's wonderful. So whatever you choose, enjoy today. Make sure that you take your supplements and vitamins and keep going with the protocol. Don't give up. no solid food. We're building and we are detoxing and we're nourishing. We're starting to do it all today, but this is still the cleansing part, so we're not going to be eating today. And hopefully that plus a really nice warm soup. And don't forget your 2 glasses of water, 2 large mason glasses of water. So that's really important as well. Okay, good luck.